Apologies in advance for my whack ass lighting. It's like cloudy out today and it's snowing, so it's like not as bright coming from this side as I would like, and whatever, y'all don't care. Sorry for the lighting. Anyways, what is up, you guys? It's Katie Elizabeth. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, hi, my name is Katie. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more videos of me. Today's video is a little bit of a college Q&A. I went on my Instagram and asked you guys to send me questions about college because finals are next week and I'm stressed a little bit. So yeah, that's what we're doing and we're gonna get into it. Alright, so an overwhelming number of you guys asked me, how's college? Which, very original, by the way. I love you guys. No, but I appreciate it. It's good. I like it a lot. There are definitely like ups and downs, but I feel like that's the same with like everything. I mean, as far as it goes, like I like it. I'm doing well for the most part. And like I said, you know, ups and downs, but that's kind of how life goes. So it's good. I like it. Kenzie asks, what's your favorite thing about college? And I think that my favorite thing is just the amount of free time that I have, because with high school you're in class like all day, you know, 6.5, 7, 8 hours a day, and here like the highest number of classes that I have on any given day is 3. So I really like that. So I just have like a lot of time to do other things, like make videos and just like exist. So I would say that my favorite thing is like the amount of freedom that I have, being like both away from home and just like having more free time. So independence, we love that. Also, there's a Qdoba about 6 minutes away from my dorm, so that's another good thing. Laura says, what classes are you taking and do you have a favorite? So I'm currently taking communications, public speaking, a cinematic storytelling class, anthropology, and math. And I would say that my favorites are probably public speaking and anthropology, because my professor in public speaking is an absolute angel. I love her with all my heart. And anthropology is just like, I think that it's really interesting, and it's not what I'm here to study. So to like find something else that I also like is really cool. I do like my cinematic storytelling class, but I would rather have some more like hands-on stuff which isn't involved in that. So public speaking and anthropology are definitely my 2 favorite classes right now. Another thing that a lot of you guys asked is how I like NAU specifically. So I think that the campus itself is beautiful. Flagstaff is great. The only thing is that like without a car it's kind of hard to like get out of Flagstaff, but I also have friends with cars and we go and like do things, which is really fun. Like looking out my window and there's like trees and shit and it's like snowing and it's all pretty, and so I mean I think that it's like beautiful. The campus is beautiful. Flagstaff is beautiful. I feel like if you had a car there's like the potential to go a lot more places, especially from like where I lived in Alaska, where if you wanted to drive anywhere like you really can't. So I definitely like the option of like going other places. Like if you guys saw my Sedona vlog from a couple months ago, that was a lot of fun and it was just like a little day trip. How do you deal with homesickness, or how do you motivate yourself to study? So these are actually both really good questions. As far as homesickness goes, I don't really think that I get homesick per se, because I have so much free time to like be doing other things that like, of course, yeah, I do miss my family and friends, but it's not like, I feel like I'm like pretty busy for the most part, that I don't really like get homesick. But you know, I mean, I FaceTime my mom a lot, I call her a lot, and that's always good. I try to, you know, keep up with my friends that are at home. So I mean, just kind of like talking to the people that are at home, but also like keeping yourself busy enough to like not be able to just like sit and get sad about it. Plus you like meet so many other new people and like whatnot. It's not as bad as you think it's gonna be. And then as far as motivation for like studying, I don't. But I would say that like when I do study or like have assignments to work on, I'll say like, oh, as soon as I get this assignment done, I'll go do this thing that I've been wanting to do, whether that's watch an episode of Netflix or go get food or whatever. Just kind of saying like, okay, I'm gonna do this until it's either done or like for a set amount of time, and then doing something to reward myself for it. Vanessa asks, favorite place to study on campus? Again, studying, I don't do that, but as far as like just like getting work done, I really like the upstairs of the hotspot, which is basically like the dining hall's top floor, and there's like a ton of chairs and tables and stuff up there that makes me feel like I'm being productive. So either that place or in either of the Starbuckses, which y'all know that I am not like really a Starbucks person. I love Pilates. I miss Pilates. So if we're talking on-campus places to do work, it's either like upstairs of the hotspot, like a coffee shop, or right here in my lovely bed. Elizabeth asks, what are you majoring in? I am currently majoring in creative media and film, surprise surprise, and I like it. I think that once I get into like higher level classes, it'll hopefully begin to be more hands-on. And I'm taking 3 film classes next semester, so you know I'm excited for that. She also asked, what's it like living in a dorm? I like it a lot, actually. I think that like sharing a space with another person definitely keeps you a lot cleaner, at least for myself. Because it's like when I was at home, my dad would disagree, but I like try to keep my stuff, you know, kind of in order. But also, you know, when like you reach those points where you're like, my room is a mess, my life is a mess, everything is bad. But here, like, since I do share the space with another person, then it's definitely more of like a, oh, I'm gonna like keep my stuff where it belongs and like try to stay presentable because like other people might come over and all that stuff. Reagan asks, how does one not want to cry from stress? Asking for a friend. P.S. Love you. I love you too. But honestly, I don't know. If someone figures that out, please let me know. Because finals are next week and sometimes you just have to cry from stress and it's just like a good stress release. So honestly, if you need to cry, just like fucking cry. The other day I cried under the bridge that's outside of my dorm for like an hour. I was like on the phone with my mom. I had this like big crisis and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And then afterwards I took a nap and then I felt better. So like, if you need to cry, just do it. It's fine. Denai says, do you think it's more or less helpful to study in a public place? Please explain, lol. Personally, yes. I think that it's, yes. Do you think it's more or less helpful? Yes. Personally, I find it to be more helpful to study in a public space because then I feel less like socially inclined to sit like this and just like watch Netflix, because while I do my work sometimes in bed, a lot of the times I will end up looking on like BuzzFeed quizzes or like Netflix or something, and I feel less inclined to do that while I am out in a public space where other people are around and like also doing work. So I would say that it definitely is more helpful to study in a public space. Jayla says, I just want to hear honestly how your experience has been, how you've been, mental health, etc. First of all, I appreciate this. Like I said, it definitely does go up and down. I think that here, compared to like my senior year of high school, which was rough, it's definitely a lot better than that. I find that I'm a lot happier than I was like a year ago today or whatever. Mental health, I think that I'm definitely like a lot happier than I was a year ago because I have physically distanced myself from a lot of the things that were making me feel bad, which is definitely one of the reasons why I didn't want to stay in state. So Tyler says, would you come back to Alaska for college? Under what circumstances would you come back? No, because there's really nothing in Alaska that pertains to what I want to study, which is film, on the caliber that I would like it to be at. So I think that if I were to move back to Alaska, it would be because I wasn't in school anymore. But I think that it would have to be some sort of like family emergency or like some sort of like financial crisis that would send me back to Alaska, and then I wouldn't be going to school. So Maya says, is college as scary as high school teachers make it seem? No, it's really not. High school teachers are like, oh yeah, your professors are gonna expect like this, and this, and like your papers are gonna have to be like 82 pages long. But like I wrote like my final paper or whatever, like a critique for my public speaking class, and she was like, do not make me read more than 2 pages, I will be upset. In comparison to high school teachers, college professors are a lot more chill for the most part, so no, it's definitely not as scary. She also asked, what year should I start applying to colleges? This is actually a really good question because I feel like my junior year I got a lot of questions about like people going, oh, you know, like, have you started looking at colleges? Have you started applying? Like this, that, and the other thing. And I kind of was like looking at them, but I didn't actually start applying to colleges until the beginning or so of my senior year of high school, and I literally only applied to 2 colleges because I was wildly depressed. But really, like, if you're looking at like applying, obviously if you want like early action or early decision or whatever, it's going to be earlier depending on the deadlines for the college that you want to go to. But I mean, I applied the beginning of my senior year. I think I got in like mid-October. Jordan asks, least favorite thing, and honestly it's the idea of paying for it, because I go to class for an hour and 15 minutes and on average it costs me about $135, which is ridiculous. So like I said, I am not currently like struggling to pay for it right now, but just the fact that it does cost so much to be here and to like do the thing makes me absolutely furious. Hey, it's Makika says, what's the hardest part about it? Also, I love you so much. Oh, I love you too. But the hardest part about it, I think, is just like, I don't know, I think just like time management sometimes, because you know, you do have so much free time that you're just like, oh yeah, I have all the time in the world to just like sit in my bed and exist. And then sometimes deadlines creep up behind you and bite you in the ass. But I mean, I think as long as you like stay on top of that, then it's really not that bad. But also I've heard that the honors college is kicking some people's asses, but I am an average little pleb, so I can't really speak to that myself, but that might be the hardest thing. I don't know. Trevor says, why don't you just drop out? Don't tempt me. And that's $13,000 down the drain, which is a lot. And I don't know, I feel like it's a lot easier to like get a job, especially one that I want with a degree of some sort. So I don't know, don't ask me that question. That's Paige says, how do we survive? Paige is my roommate, by the way. So I would say like Dutch trips. We complain to each other a lot, which is definitely like a good like release of emotion, and just like driving around and listening to music. That definitely, those make up like the really good moments where I'm like, oh my god, like this is great. So yeah, those three things. Also just like copious amounts of Red Bull. Hannah says, do people ever show up in pajamas? And I would say pajamas, no, not really, but sweatpants and hoodies, yes. All the time. Ashlyn says, how do you stay calm while public speaking? Honestly, this is really bad, but before I have to do like a speech or something, I will take a melatonin before I go to class, which probably isn't good. But I think that, first of all, channel your inner Barack Obama, just like his poise. But I would think that like, first of all, wear an outfit that makes you feel good. I'm always trying to like whip out my like Harry Styles boots before a speech because they make me feel like a badass, which definitely helps. So like wear something that makes you feel good. Maybe take a melatonin, or don't, because I'm not gonna advertise like that, but that's personally what I do. And then just like channel your inner Obama. Cora says, is it better than high school? Yes. She also says, what is your room buddy like? My room buddy Paige is great. I absolutely love her. She's let me be a part of her like friend group, which I'm so incredibly grateful for, because now instead of having one friend that I regularly hang out with, I have 3. I think that we're very similar in like a lot of senses, and we're planning on rooming together again next year. So 12 out of 10 would recommend, except don't steal my roommate. That would be rude. Heidi says, is it what you expected? I feel like we all come to college with so many preconceived ideas. I thought it was gonna be more difficult, honestly. I feel like I've been able to like hone in my time management skills, and so it's really like not bad. I think that like the hardest part of it is that like sometimes it's really lonely, which was something that I had no idea about coming into it. I think that like I came into it with the idea that like there were just going to be so many people around all the time because there is like 40,000 people at the school, but sometimes it's really lonely, which is the one thing that I would say is harder than I expected. Clark says, how many cups of coffee do you drink on average per week? So many. Honestly, the number of times that I go to Starbucks on a weekly basis now is absurd, because if I'm just like out and I'm like, I'm dying, I'll just like whip in there and grab a coffee. There's almost always Red Bull in our fridge. I have a coffee pot, so too much, honestly, but it keeps me going, so I'm not gonna do anything to change it. Joseph says, do you go to college parties? If college parties include watching 4 out of the 5 Twilight movies on my friend's floor, then yes. If not, then no. I'm like definitely just like a very introverted person for the most part. Like when I'm around, you know, like 3 or 4 of my close friends, then I'm definitely like, okay, let's fucking hype. But like being around so many people that I don't know and I'm just like not comfortable with, it's just like not something that I find like energizing or exciting or anything. Also, nobody invites me to college parties, so maybe I'm just like not cool enough for that. Alora says, would you recommend staying in state near home or going out of state? For me, staying in Alaska for school was not really like a plausible option because, like I said, I am studying film, which wasn't really something that's available there. It kind of depends on what you're looking for and like whether you're looking more to like save money or get the education that you want on the caliber that you want it. If you don't mind staying in state and they have like what you want, if you're willing to kind of sacrifice that like independence that comes with moving out of state, and you can like save money doing so, then I would say that staying in state might be a good option. But if the state that you live in doesn't have what you want to study at like the level that you want it, and you know you can find that somewhere else that you can afford, then like going out of state I would definitely say is like a good experience for both your education and just like growing as a person, because that sense of independence is definitely more there when you go out of state, I think. Benjamin says, is it just absolutely so much better than high school? I need encouragement to get through this year. Yes, it is so much better than high school. Like I said, away from the people that made you feel like shit in high school, just like new experiences, new people, like more independence, more free time. Yes, it is so much better than high school. And last one, Andrea says, how are you tackling finals this semester? Good luck on them. Thank you, BB, you too. And honestly, I feel like I got off pretty easily with my finals this year. Like my public speaking class doesn't actually have a formal final, so I am done with that. Film final was due this week, and so I just wrote a paper for that and got that out of the way. I have like 2 formal exams and another paper, 2 other papers that are due next week. So I mean, I would just say like balancing between, you know, like studying if that's something that you need to do. I don't plan on doing that. But just like making sure that you like can get the stuff done on time and like based on like deadlines and how long it's gonna take you to do everything. I don't know. I spent my entire day yesterday in bed. You know, make sure you stay hydrated, stay caffeinated, stay focused, but also like take the time to do fun things so then you don't absolutely lose your shit. So that is going to be it for this week's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to let me know by giving it a big thumbs up and subscribing down below and hitting the notification bell, that way you get a little ding when I upload. This is my favorite comment from last week's video. Yes. So if you'd like to be featured in next week's video, let me know how school is going for you, whether you are preparing for finals or just getting ready for winter break or whatnot. And I will take my favorite comment and feature it in next week's video, and hopefully I will see you then. Bye.